Good day. Today, we will talk about the history of accounting. Do you know that the accounting started at ancient time? The history of accounting dates back at ancient time. Do you know that their calculator back then is called abacus? So what is abacus? The abacus is the most ancient calculating device known. It has endured over time and is still in use in some countries. An abacus consists of a wooden frame, rods, and beads. Each rods represent different place values, while each bead represents a number. The abacus was developed by the Sumerians in early 5000 BCE, followed by the papyrus, which was developed by ancient Egyptians in 4000 BCE. So let's talk about the papyrus. So what is papyrus? A papyrus is a material similar to thick paper that was used in ancient times as writing surface. Do you know that the papyrus is not only allowed recording of commercial transaction but also the transcription of religious texts, music, literature, and more? In Egypt, archaeologist Dr. Gunther Dreyer of the German Institute of Archaeology discovered that clay tablets was the oldest written tax accounting records. King Scorpion I discovered old stone labels. He discovered it in the early 3000 BCE or around 5300 years ago. These old stone labels were complete with marks representing accounts of oil and lenience which were believed to be paid to the king as taxes. In Mesopotamia, clay tokens and clay tablets are used to record their loans, herds, crops, and system of trade. Do you know that in Mesopotamia, those scribes who performed the extensive duties in writing and recording in the Mesopotamian civilization are the equivalent of present-day accountants? Scribes also assured that the agreements were in compliance with the detailed code requirements for commercial transactions. In 600 BCE, the Greeks introduced money in the form of coins. They adopted the Phoenician writing system and they also invented a Greek alphabet which they used to facilitate record keeping. In Rome, accounting helped establish their finance and legal system. Romans introduced the use of an annual budget which coordinated estimated revenues and taxes paid by the citizen in relation to the nation's expenditures. A cash book was maintained by households for their expense. In England, in 1086, the Domesday Book contained all the real estate surveyed by William the Conqueror and the taxes due to them. The Pipe Roll, or the Great Roll of the Exchequer, is the most ancient surviving accounting record in the English language. This contains the yearly accounting of rents, fines, and taxes due to the King of England from 1130 to 1830. And now, let's talk about the 14th century or the birth of double entry bookkeeping. During the 14th century, Friar Luca dal Borgo, known as Luca Pacioli of Italy, Luca Pacioli is a mathematician that is considered as the father of accounting. Luca wrote a book called the Summa de Arithmetica Geometrica Proportioni e Proportionalita, which means everything about arithmetic, geometry, and proportion. This book has one section and that is the De Computis et Scriptionis, which means of reckonings and writings. This section is composed of 36 short chapters that describe bookkeeping. The book also explains the extensively used balance sheet of today, the methods of using memorandums, journals, and ledgers, the use of accounts such as assets, liabilities, owner's equity, revenue, and expenses, year-end closing entries, and the use of the trial balance to prove a balanced ledger. Do, Do you know that Luca Pacioli credited Benedetto Contrugli for the original idea of the double-entry bookkeeping? Contrugli's manuscript of De la Mercatura e del Marchante Perfetto, which means of trading and the perfect trader, this contained a brief description of the double entry of bookkeeping, and this was never printed. Do you also know that Luca Pacioli is a friend and contemporary of Leonardo da Vinci? Luca Pacioli was the second to publish the double entry bookkeeping system has two equal and corresponding sides, which is called the debit and credit. Debit came from the word debere, which means is to owe, while the credit came from the word credere, which means is to entrust. Let's talk about the 19th century, or the dawn of modern accounting. In England, the Industrial Revolution, which replaced hand tools with machine or power tools, otherwise known as the factory system, transformed accounting into an actual profession. In Scotland, Queen Victoria granted a royal charter to the Institute of Accountants in Glasgow on July 6, 1854, thereby creating the profession Chartered Accountant. That time, accounting became a formal profession. In the latter part of the 19th century, a Scottish or British chartered accountant was sent to the U.S. to audit British investment. The first national U.S. Accounting Society was known in the year of 1887, the American Association of Public Accountants, which provided a formal certification process of accountants, was the predecessor of the present American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. In British Industrial Revolution, London is the financial center of the world, wherein the establishment limited liabilities company. In this time, the highly technical and complex business transaction increases and the accountants are highly needed. Now, we will go to the 20th century, or the evolution of modern accounting standards. The AICPA, the first national profession association for CPA, was formed in the young but prosperous nation of the U.S. Because of the economic depression, the Securities and Exchange Commission was formed. The periodic reports that is vouched by the CPAs were filed by all publicly traded companies who had to register with the SEC before selling their securities to the public. The AICPA was tasked to set the accounting and auditing standards for the reports until the establishment of the Financial Accounting Standards Board in 1970. The Financial Accounting Standards Board is the result of the demand for more reliable and comparable financial reporting by the Congress and SEC. Financial Accounting Standards Board and the Governmental Accounting Standards Board are currently two of the significant authorities establishing the generally accepted accounting principles in the U.S. And now, we will talk about the information age. The information age, known as the computer age, digital age, or new media age. The information age brought about the significant change in the workload of accountants. Transactions can be consummated online with the help of internet. Software applications in accounting have been developed to expedite procedure and accommodate the numerous needs and demands of the different business.